Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel Coin Cosmos. Today we dive into one of the most exciting frontiers in computing, optical computing. Yes, optical computing, this is the topic of discussion in today's video. You know Moore's law. For decades Moore's law has guided the progress of technology, and Gordon Moore predicted that the number of transistors on a chip would roughly double every 2 years. And indeed, this exponential growth has powered everything from smartphones to supercomputers. But there's a problem with silicon transistors. What's the problem? Silicon transistors are reaching their physical limits. This is the problem right now. Heat, power consumption, and quantum effects are making it harder to shrink silicon transistors further. This is the problem right now. That's why scientists are trying a new concept. They are trying to use photons, that is particles of light, for the same purpose. Actually, research labs and companies are experimenting with photonic integrated circuits for the same purpose. Okay, but we are still in the early stages. So what is the concept? You know, in case of silicon transistors, electrons flow through wires, but in case of when you are going to use photon particles, so in that case photon particles need not they don't require any wire. That is known fact. So what are the things which are used actually in case of photon particles? Laser beams, means lasers are used, waveguides are used, photonic chips are used. These are the things. And what are the advantages of using these photons? You know, if you compare the speed of traveling, speed of movement or traveling of electrons and photons, then photons move or photons travel much faster than electrons. That is one advantage. Next advantage is photon particles, means light can carry massive amounts of information using different wavelengths of light. Yes, massive amounts of information they can carry, photon particles, using different wavelengths of light. And same thing is actually being used in case of parallel processing. Parallel processing is the requirement in today's world. That is known to you, especially for artificial intelligence. Then big data. Okay, in case of big data, you know petabytes. Actually, why big data is being used? To handle petabytes of information in real time. Again, in case of artificial intelligence, what is the requirement? A requirement is to what? Massively parallel computation. That is the requirement with blazing speed. Massively parallel computations with blazing speed. That is the requirement for artificial intelligence. And for big data, petabytes of information in real time. Handling of this much of data in real time, that is a requirement. Again, you know, quantum computing, hybrid systems, there also light would be used. Yes, for quantum communication. So since light has so many positive points, much faster than electrons, and parallel processing is automatically done. Not exactly automatically, but easy. We can easily use light for parallel processing. So what are the actual requirements, means how this technology actually works. So you know what are the requirements? The requirements are logic operations like AND or NOT. These are logic operations. These are done by using that property of light, means interference of light. Then nonlinear optics. Again, data transfer, that is one more requirement, and that can be done via what? Via fiber optics. Again, photonic chips and parallel processing. I have already mentioned that thing. So many positive points are there. If you use photon particles for the same purpose, means we are just going to replace those silicon transistors with this new thing. New thing is what? Using photon particles or particles of light for the same thing. That is a new concept. But the challenges are there, you know, miniaturization of existing devices, existing components, or better to say photonic components. That is the requirement. Miniaturization is a requirement. Okay, then power consumption, that is also the requirement. Anyway, I am not going to discuss here challenges. What are actually the advantages? So now you know the advantages. So these are what? These are just ideas of using photon particles for the same purpose. Okay, and what was the actually problem? Actual problem with was with Moore's law. Anyway, so this was all about today's topic. Okay, this was all about today's topic, and this is the end of this video. If you found this video interesting, so please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. This is the end. Thanks for watching.